Hey, y'all. So, if you're a conservative, you probably remember about 3, maybe 4 years ago, seeing something on the horizon and thinking to yourself, that doesn't look good. And you probably attempted to warn people, but they wouldn't listen. And that was on the transgender initiative. The activists going out and trying to push transgenderism onto America as a whole, onto the world. And you might remember conservatives saying things like, well, if people can just change their sex at will and they're pushing it on us, what's to stop them from changing their race or their age at will? Now, we all know about Rachel Dolezal and Sean King, the male and female avatars of the transracial community, which is an absolute joke, but they seem to think it isn't. I guess they didn't get the joke yet. Well, Rachel never understood the question in the first place. Isn't that her most famous line? Anyways, the trans age thing has happened too. Do you remember that 60-something-year-old man in Europe who left his wife and children to go live as a 6-year-old girl under the roof of an adoptive, as he called them, mum and daddy, and play with their young daughter? I guarantee you, within a couple years, we're going to hear that that turned out bad as well. What was the term on YouTube a few years back? Gone sexual. I don't know. Anyways, another trans age person has decided to show up in the limelight, and we're going to hear about him right now. A Chicago man accused of sexually assaulting 2 6-year-olds and an 8-year-old on repeated occasions told police officers that he's really a 9-year-old trapped in an adult's body, prosecutors revealed on Wednesday. 38-year-old Joseph Roman is charged with repeated predatory criminal sexual assault. The numerous attacks began in 2015 and continued until earlier this month. Roman has reportedly confessed to some of the attacks to authorities. His victims were the daughters of his friends. This was predictable, right? I mean, you saw lefties all over the internet making fun of conservatives who were saying this is what was going to happen. This, again, reminds me of when people were knocking down statues and Trump went, "What next? George Washington?" And everyone went, "You're crazy!" And the very next day, a George Washington statue had been vandalized. It's the same concept. Conservatives are conservative because we can see the damn future, you idiots. You idiot lefties. The conservatives watching, you're not idiots, clearly. You're watching me. You gotta be some kind of smart. That said, the lefties and the trans community in general, at least the trans activist community, seem to be pretty interested in sexualizing children. If any of you have heard of a company called House of Man, that's MANN, it's a clothing company, and they have recently taken up as their avatar a 9-year-old transgender boy who is now maybe a girl? I don't know. Either way, 9-year-old Lactatia. Yeah, that's right. They named this child after the act of milk coming out of a woman's breast. Just let that sink in for a moment and realize that 9-year-old Lactatia has come into fame by being a somewhat androgynous but very sexed up avatar for this clothing company, house of man. People, this is an insidious force that is coming upon us. And some of us are fighting against it and being called transphobic. I just want y'all to know right now, I'm happy to be called transphobic because the real trans community isn't going to call me that. They're going to say, oh, just let me get the other sex and I'll shut up and disappear. It's the ones that are really out there, the RuPaul's Drag Race type people that are obsessed with the world embracing them, the ones that'll call you transphobic if you are a straight male and refuse to have sex with a woman who has a penis. These are the people that are going to ruin it for everyone else. These are the people that are going to bring conservatism full circle into something that even we conservatives don't want. People, if you have had any crazy, weird, negative experiences with the overtly overdone trans community, the trans activist community, please leave a story in the comments. If I get enough, maybe I'll feature them in an upcoming video. And if you have anything else you'd like to say to me, of course, please tell me in the comments. I'm looking for negative comments. I'm looking for fire to be thrown at me. So please go ahead, go nuts, tear it up. Boys, girls, other, question mark, whatever, I don't care. In the meantime, like, share, subscribe. I love getting new subscribers. It gives me a warm feeling in my heart, or what's left of it, apparently, as, again, I'm a conservative, so I've got to be heartless, right? Bye.